Have you ever noticed how some of the most powerful people say the least? There's a certain strength in silence that can elevate your influence, control, and personal power. In today's video, we're diving into the concept of silence as a tool for power, based on law number 4 from Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power. Always say less than necessary. While talking may seem like the best way to assert yourself, speaking less actually allows you to control the narrative and gain a deeper understanding of the world around you. But here's the thing, silence isn't always the right choice. It can be tricky and, when used at the wrong time, might even cause suspicion. However, when used strategically, silence can make you appear more powerful, give you control over conversations, and help you learn more about others. So stick around as we explore how mastering the art of silence can enhance your personal influence, make you a better listener, and give you the upper hand in any situation. Why silence is powerful. Let's start by breaking down why silence is so powerful. You might think that being vocal is a sign of strength, but in reality, the opposite is often true. When you say less, you actually appear more powerful. Take Louis XIV of France, for example. He was one of the most powerful monarchs in history, and yet he rarely said more than necessary. In fact, whenever his courtiers brought him bad news, he would simply say, "I shall see," followed by an intimidating silence. That silence forced everyone to wonder what he was thinking, giving him control without having to utter more than a few words. The idea here is simple. The more you talk, the more you expose yourself. You give away your thoughts, your emotions, and sometimes even your weaknesses. When you're silent, you remain a mystery. You seem more composed, more in control, and others will have to work harder to figure you out. Think about it. If you're in a group and one person keeps going on and on about themselves, what do you think? Probably that they're full of themselves, or that they have something to prove. On the other hand, the person who says little but speaks with purpose, that's the one who holds everyone's attention. That's the person who seems powerful. Silence also gives you control in conversations. When you say less, you leave room for others to fill the void. And guess what? People often reveal more than they mean to when they're uncomfortable with silence. This is one of the key strategies in negotiations, by the way. We'll get into that later, but just know that silence can make others feel the need to explain themselves, giving you valuable insights into what they're really thinking. So to summarize, silence gives you the power to control how others perceive you, manage conversations, and keep yourself from revealing too much. By saying less, you maintain a sense of mystery, which in turn gives you the upper hand. And the best part? When you do choose to speak, your words carry far more weight. People listen because they know you're someone who doesn't just talk for the sake of talking. Situations where silence is beneficial. So when exactly should you use silence to your advantage? There are several key situations where silence becomes not just useful, but powerful. Let's break them down. The first and probably most powerful situation is in negotiations. Whether you're discussing a business deal, trying to get a better salary, or even making personal arrangements, silence can be a game changer. Here's why. Silence creates discomfort. When you don't respond immediately, the other person feels the need to fill that awkward space. They might end up offering more than they initially intended, just to break the silence. This gives you the upper hand. It's human nature to want to keep the conversation flowing, but if you stay calm and composed, the other party will likely cave first. By saying nothing, you actually say a lot. You communicate that you're confident, unbothered, and in control, and that can be extremely intimidating. Another situation where silence is incredibly beneficial is during conflict or difficult conversations. When emotions are high, it's easy to say something you might regret. But if you can hold your tongue, you give yourself time to think before reacting. Instead of lashing out, staying silent allows you to process the situation and choose your words carefully. This can help de-escalate tension, or at the very least, prevent you from saying something that could make things worse. It's not about being passive, it's about being strategic. By taking a pause, you can formulate a response that's measured, respectful, and clear, instead of just venting your emotions in the heat of the moment. Silence is also powerful in situations where you need to listen and learn. When you're silent, you're not just hearing what's being said, you're observing. You can pick up on body language, tone, and even inconsistencies in someone's story. People often reveal more in what they don't say than in what they do. By staying quiet, you give yourself the chance to truly understand the other person and even catch things that others might miss. This is especially useful when you're trying to read someone's intentions or spot if they're being dishonest. Silence gives you the space to process the situation and gather more information. Finally, silence is your ally when making difficult decisions. If you're ever in a situation where you feel pressured to make a quick decision, staying silent can give you the breathing room you need to think things through. It's easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment and agree to something you might later regret. But silence buys you time. It shows that you're thoughtful, not impulsive, and that you're considering all the options carefully. Whether it's a negotiation, a conflict, or a high-stakes decision, silence can give you the upper hand. It helps you stay composed, gather more information, and make better choices. And in the end, that's where real power comes from. Not from talking, but from thinking. The benefits of silence. Now that we've covered when silence can be most beneficial, let's dive deeper into the specific advantages that mastering silence can bring to your life. By speaking less and listening more, you gain much more than just a few quiet moments. So, what are the real benefits of silence? First, silence enhances your self-control. Think about it. How many times have you said something in the heat of the moment and immediately regretted it? It happens to all of us. Silence forces you to pause and think before you react, especially in emotionally charged situations. When you take a moment of silence, you give yourself the opportunity to reflect and make a conscious decision instead of an emotional one. By holding your tongue, you take control of your emotions and the situation. This gives you the upper hand, as you're no longer reacting impulsively, but acting deliberately. Over time, this practice builds greater emotional resilience and discipline. Another key benefit is that silence makes your words carry more weight. When you speak less often, people naturally pay more attention to you when you do speak. If you're always talking, people tend to tune you out. But when you're silent most of the time, the moments when you do speak are powerful. People know that when you say something, it's worth listening to. It creates an air of authority and respect. Think about it. When someone who rarely talks suddenly makes a statement, it commands attention. That's the kind of impact you can have by mastering the art of silence. One of the most overlooked benefits of silence is that it makes you a better listener. When you're not focused on what to say next, you can truly listen to what others are saying. And not just their words, you can observe their body language, tone, and subtle cues. People reveal so much through nonverbal communication, and by staying silent, you can pick up on things others might miss. Over time, you'll become more attuned to these signals, allowing you to understand people on a deeper level, whether they're being honest, how they really feel, or what they're not saying. This is a powerful skill. Silence helps you see through the noise and truly understand the person in front of you. And when you can do that, you become a better friend, partner, negotiator, and leader. Silence also gives you control over conversations. We've touched on this earlier, but it's worth highlighting again. When you stay silent, you make others do the talking. And as they talk, they often reveal more than they intended. That's the beauty of silence. It's not just what you don't say, it's what you make others say. People feel the need to fill silence, and in doing so, they often give you valuable information. You can then use that information to your advantage, whether in negotiations, problem-solving, or simply understanding the other person's perspective. By controlling your own speech, you influence the direction of the conversation, guiding it without saying much at all. It's subtle, but incredibly effective. Lastly, silence can help you build charisma and trust. People appreciate those who listen more than they talk. When you give someone your undivided attention without interrupting or speaking over them, they feel heard and understood. This builds trust and rapport. The more you listen, the more people feel comfortable around you. They start to see you as someone who values their thoughts and opinions, and that's a key ingredient in building strong relationships, whether personal or professional. Charisma isn't just about being the most outgoing or talkative person in the room. Sometimes it's about being the one who listens and makes others feel valued. So, to sum up, the benefits of silence are clear. It enhances your self-control, makes your words more impactful, improves your listening skills, gives you control in conversations, and helps you build stronger relationships. Silence, when used correctly, is one of the most powerful tools you can have in your personal and professional life. The downside of silence. While mastering the art of silence can be incredibly powerful, it's important to acknowledge that silence does have its downsides. Just like any tool, when used inappropriately or in the wrong situations, silence can backfire. One of the main risks is that silence can easily be misinterpreted. In some cases, staying quiet might make you appear disengaged, disinterested, or even indifferent. People might assume you're hiding something, or that you simply don't care. This can damage relationships, both personal and professional, because communication is key to understanding and connection. While silence is powerful, overusing it or using it at the wrong times can create distance between you and others, leading to misunderstandings or even mistrust. Another downside of silence is the potential to miss out on opportunities for connection. Sometimes, speaking up is necessary to express your thoughts, show empathy, or provide support to others. If you're silent when someone needs you to engage or offer insight, you risk losing the chance to connect with them on a deeper level. People often look for validation or guidance in conversation, and too much silence can make them feel unheard. Remember, the key to using silence effectively is balance. Knowing when to speak is just as important as knowing when to be silent. Lastly, staying silent too often can create suspicion. If you're always holding back or not participating in discussions, people might start to question your motives or trustworthiness. Silence, especially in situations where others expect your input, can make it seem like you're hiding something or not being transparent. This can create unnecessary tension and lead to a breakdown in communication. While silence is powerful, it's essential to know when to break it. Use it as a tool, but don't let it create barriers between you and those around you. Practical tips to master the art of silence. Now that we've explored both the power and potential downsides of silence, let's focus on how you can practically master the art of silence in your daily life. After all, knowing the benefits is one thing. Actually, applying silence as a tool is where the real challenge begins. The first tip is simple but incredibly effective. Pause before you speak. Instead of immediately reacting, take a moment to gather your thoughts. This small pause will help you avoid saying something impulsive or unnecessary. It also gives the impression that you're thoughtful and deliberate with your words, which naturally adds to your authority and presence. Whether in a heated argument or a casual chat, that brief moment of silence can make all the difference. It allows you to consider what's really important to say and what's better left unsaid. Second, focus on active listening. When you're in conversation, make it a point to listen more than you speak. This helps you gather valuable information and build stronger connections. Active listening isn't just about hearing words, it's about really understanding what the other person is trying to communicate. Pay attention to their tone, body language, and what they're not saying. Silence helps you pick up on these subtle cues. By becoming a better listener, you'll also start to notice patterns in people's behavior and intentions. This not only helps in building relationships, but also in making smarter, more informed decisions. Next up, learn to get comfortable with awkward silences. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but letting the silence hang for a bit during conversations can give you the upper hand, especially in negotiations. People are naturally inclined to fill the silence, and this can lead them to reveal more information than they intended. In a negotiation, staying silent forces the other person to keep talking, and they might offer you a better deal just to end the silence. Getting comfortable with those quiet moments is a powerful skill. Remember, silence creates pressure, and you can use that pressure to your advantage. Another practical tip is to speak only when you have something valuable to add. Avoid the temptation to fill conversations with unnecessary chatter. Instead, reserve your words for when they'll have the most impact. By speaking only when necessary, you automatically make your words more meaningful. People will pay closer attention to what you say, and they'll see you as someone who adds value rather than just noise. This doesn't mean you should always stay silent. It just means being intentional with your words. Make sure that when you do speak, it counts. Finally, Practice patience. Mastering silence doesn't happen overnight, and it takes time to feel comfortable using it strategically. But with practice, you'll become more confident in holding back when needed. Start small, maybe by staying silent for a few extra moments during meetings or by holding back in conversations where you might normally jump in. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel. Remember, mastering the art of silence is about discipline, awareness, and strategy. The more you practice, the more control you'll have, not only over your words, but also over the dynamics of your interactions. So, to recap, pause before speaking, focus on active listening, embrace awkward silences, speak only when you have something valuable to add, and most importantly, practice patience. By mastering these techniques, you'll turn silence into one of your greatest strengths. Conclusion. As we wrap up, remember, silence isn't just the absence of words, it's a tool, a strategy, and a form of power that can transform the way you interact with others. Whether it's in conversations, negotiations, or self-reflection, knowing when to speak and when to stay silent can give you control and clarity. Silence allows you to listen more, observe more, and understand more. It gives your words weight when you choose to use them. And ultimately, it gives you the power to navigate life with purpose and precision. Thank you for watching and for taking the time to explore the art of silence with me. I hope these insights help you not just in your personal growth, but also in how you engage with the world around you. Until next time, remember, the most powerful words are often the ones left unsaid.